Hello, beautiful mamas. I hope you're doing great in your corner of the world. I'm doing fantastic here in Rogersville, New Brunswick. This is where I live now. As most of you know, I have moved back from Egypt to my hometown in Rogersville, New Brunswick, Canada, and we are doing great. Actually, it's been a while since I've been live here. I was busy settling down and all that stuff, so now I'm getting settled, and it's great to be back. So I'll be doing these every week for sure. I just want to make sure that we are actually live in the group. Not sure yet. Might be in the event. I'm not sure. Let's see. Just bear with me a little bit here. Here. Just trying to see where I'm live streaming, if it's in the event page or if it's live on in the group. Sometimes it takes a while before the connection comes. Let's just see here. Let's go to events. It might be in there. Oh yeah. So if you're watching, there we are. Yeah, there we are. I'm here. Yeah, I guess we are live streaming, so we're all good. Hi, Don. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just getting ready to do my weekly Mama Goddess Chronicle weekly live streaming. I'm not sure if you're watching from the group wall or if it's in the event or not, but at least I know that some that you can actually see this. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I decided to do a live training every week, where every week I'll be talking about a topic like that's related to postpartum depression or motherhood or anything like that. So, and these will be done on Thursdays, of course, at this time. And for those who can't catch me live here, the replay will always be in the group, in the guide section. So yeah. So thanks for tuning in, Dawn. So yeah. So I'll get started. So yeah. So today, I'm going to be talking about um, like this. Just a little bit of Mama Goddess Chronicles. This is I decided to come up with this name because we Mama Goddesses, we need it's a sacred space to reconnect, to rise, to reclaim our inner Mama Goddess power. So these trainings will reflect that. We're all here to step into our Mama Goddess power. So yeah, so today's topic is deeply personal, and it's powerfully transformational as well. And it's called Breaking the Cycle: How to Stop Generational Trauma from Affecting Your Motherhood. This one's really close to my heart because I've walked through it myself. I've been through postpartum depression, and any of you watching, if you've gone through postpartum depression or are going through postpartum depression, you will probably relate a lot to what I'm going to be talking about today. So like, have you ever caught yourself reacting in ways that you swore you wouldn't, or you'd never would? Or feeling shame or guilt for how you're parenting, or how you're, raising your children or being a mom? Just know that you're not alone. And this topic and conversation is for you, if you can resonate. So, yeah, whoever's watching, put in the comments under this live where you're tuning in from, and if you can, relate to this topic. So yeah, so a little bit about me, my personal story. So let me take you back for a moment. When I became a mom for the first time, I didn't just birth a baby. I awakened every unresolved wound that I carried from my own childhood, my mother's patterns, and even my grandmother's silences. We call this the mother wound. It's basically, when you're talking about generational trauma, It goes back generations to generations to generations. Um, I mean, it can be so societal conditioning that we've been conditioned with, as moms. I'm not sure if I know I remember growing up, I used to see this commercial of this perfect mom. She was always, she had this apron on and she was in her kitchen and she was smiling and, everything was just great and all that. But that's kind of like a stereotype that has been instilled in a lot of us because society expects us as moms to just be happy. We're just, to be happy, have a smile, be the nurturing moms that we are. And of course, that's all true. But what they don't tell us is that being a mom also comes with its own set of challenges, right? So on my journey, I realized that postpartum depression wasn't just about my hormones. It was also about a spiritual unraveling of everything I had inherited and never healed. I was angry sometimes, I was sad sometimes, exhausted, tired, and worst of all, I was ashamed of feeling like I wasn't the mother that I had envisioned myself. Like we all kind of like, I know I was like that when I was pregnant with my firstborn. I had this vision, of myself being this nurturing mom, like I had seen in those commercials, and when I became a mom myself, I realized that, oh my God, yeah, no, that's not how I feel. I don't always have a smile on my face. Yes, I do, but I mean, it also comes with, you know, more negative things that we like, or, because we are exhausted, we are doing a lot. We're multitasking a lot of things. We can have mom guilt. We can have, you know, expectations, or like sometimes we compare we tend to compare ourselves with other moms, but we don't know what journey you know they might seem great and all that, like in public, but I mean, we don't know what their journey is behind closed doors. So that's pretty much like why I wanted to talk about this today. So like, here's the truth, like healing generational trauma is the spiritual path of the Mama Goddess. That's our spiritual path. We have to heal this generational trauma. Later on, I'm going to be talking about what that is and what it means and all that, and I'll give some tips as well. Like when we heal, we heal. We don't just heal now. We heal backwards and we heal forwards. When we choose differently, to pause instead of react, for example, like to our kids, whininess, for example, to listen instead of shame, to nurture instead of neglect. We break the cycle, and that really changes everything. When we can grasp that as mom, it it also helps us not to feel so guilty, and if we and not to feel as though we're failing as moms. So I know when I was going through postpartum depression, I had a lot of mom guilt. I felt like I didn't, I didn't measure up to the standards that I thought being a good mom was. Um, so, so what is generational trauma? So now I'm going to talk about what is generational trauma. So it isn't just what happened to us, it's what gets passed down through us if we're not conscious. You know what I mean? Like it's like beliefs. It can be conditioning. It can be ways of doing things that has been passed down to us by either our mothers or their mother's mother and their mother's mother and so on. So, and that's not just with motherhood. It's pretty much like in general also. But it does affect the way we do things in our current, in the present right now. It's the emotional wounds, the beliefs, the behaviors, and coping mechanisms that we inherit. For example, the fear of not being enough or not feeling worthy enough, the guilt for resting or asking for help, because we've been conditioned as mothers that asking for help means that we're weak or that we're failing. It also means the pressure to be perfect or strong all the time, like that kind of like that commercial that I was referring to in the beginning. silence around emotions. We shouldn't be showing emotions. We should be smiling all the time. We should be nurturing all the time, but we're not allowed to feel sad. We're not allowed to feel angry. We're not allowed to feel, you know, guilt or anything like that. And it's also the survival-based parenting styles passed down like heirlooms, in a sense. It's like it's basically passed down, and we're not even aware that it's being passed down. I mean, our mothers, our grandmothers, their mothers, and so on, like they didn't know because it was just like conditioning or beliefs that were also passed down. So, and science now confirms what our soul already knew from the beginning. Trauma can be passed through epigenetics, shaping how our bodies, our minds, our nervous systems respond to the world. So it's a big thing. It's really a big deal. Um, but here's the empowering truth, though. We 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 are the cycle breakers, because when you become aware, you can make we can be conscious mamas who can look at these patterns and say, this ends with me. This is not going. This is where I break the cycle. You know, it has to do with like mindset and practicing self-love. Like, for example, us moms, we've been conditioned to believe that we shouldn't love ourselves, like we shouldn't take care of ourselves because our kids come first. We should take care of everybody, our partner, our house, our kids, and then if there's enough time, we can take care of ourselves. But that is so far from the truth, because if we want to keep running on a full cup, we have to refill that cup. And that comes with self-love, self-care, and not feel guilty if you need a break, or if you need a shower, or if you need time to yourself, because how are we supposed to recharge if we don't do that, right? And a lot of us, we feel guilty about that because we, in our minds, we think that we can't. It's selfish. But self-love and self-care is not selfish. If, like I said, if we want to pour from a full cup, like we can't pour from an empty cup, so we have to fill up our cup and recharge. Like now, like if you've just given birth, for example, and you have a newborn baby that, like, well, I mean, that's a little bit harder to achieve because, I mean, that baby needs you a lot. But I mean, asking for help, asking your partner or your husband, or it's okay to ask them for help. And a lot of the times we feel guilty for asking for help because we don't want to be seen as weak, like we're failing. So, but how is our partner supposed to know if we don't let them know? I know I was like that when I had my firstborn. I was embarrassed of asking for anybody for help. And I mean, my postpartum depression just kept going and going and going. And my then partner didn't, like the father of my two older daughters, he had no idea because I didn't talk about it. And this was 26 years ago. This was a long time ago. And this subject, like this topic, postpartum depression, it was, I think they were just starting to talk about it. So there wasn't any resources or support or anything like that. So I felt like I was truly alone. Like I would go to, I don't know, new mom meetups, and I would compare myself to all the moms that were there. I thought I was failing as a mom. All these feelings. So if you've gone through or going through, you probably resonate with what I'm saying right here. But yeah, we are the cycle breakers. That can stop with us. So we need to make sure that we do fill our cups and that we do take care of ourselves. And I know, like, and if you're a single mom and you have small kids, it can be very challenging to take care of yourself. But I mean, even like if they're sleeping or whatever, even I know I used, when my kids were like smaller, like toddlers and that, like I would, sometimes just lock myself in the bathroom for, even if it was for just a minute, just to kind of like recoup. And that helped a lot. I didn't do that, of course, for my firstborn because I didn't know better. I had 4 in total. I had four daughters, and each experience was different. But as time went by, I learned, to take care of myself, and that really helped my mental state as well. So yeah. So how do we stop trauma from affecting our motherhood? How can we do that? I'm gonna uh, talk about 3 sacred tools that I use in my own journey and teach in my work as a coach. Um, like when I was going through this, I was I wished I would have had this support. Um, and that's why I decided to become a postpartum wellness coach to help postpartum moms in the postpartum phase, and also, to navigate postpartum depression. Because like if you're aware from the beginning and you learn tools from the get-go, then you can apply them, and you can, get better, or it won't be as bad. So the first thing is sacred awareness. Like, you can't heal what you can't see. And very often we're stuck in our minds, right? Our mindset. If we're in a negative state of mind, well, it's hard to see anything, you know. So one thing that helped me is starting to notice my triggers without judgment, without like judgment. So you can ask yourself, like, whose voice is that anyway? Is this my truth? Is this who I really am? Or is it something that I inherited? Does my mom do that? Did my grandmother do that? And things like that. So this can kind of bring light to the roots, like why am I, why do I have this voice? Like, why am I so self-critical of myself? Why am So when you take a step back, it brings awareness. And that's really important, because when you're going through postpartum depression, like you're just like so stuck in this frame of mind that it's hard to do that. But if you can, and it's not easy at first to do. You have to kind of like practice, practice. And I found that really helped. And another one is emotional alchemy and inner reparenting. Like when it comes to generational trauma or healing the mother wound, um, sometimes we have to reparent our inner child, our own inner child, the little girl inside us. The mama within must be mother too. I'm a firm believer of that. Um, so you can give your inner child what she never received. So whether it's validation, whether it's safety, whether it's gentleness or joy, you can, as an adult now in the present moment, you can reclaim it for her. And this creates emotional safety that your children will also feel, because our children, they feel us. They feel our energy. So if we're having a good day, they feel it. Like everything is great and they're happy and they're not as whiny and not as, you know, uh, you know how that is, right? Um, and but when we're not in a good space, or we're not in a good, place, our kids feel it, and they feel that. So then they'll try to, try to get us to give them more attention, or they'll be more whiny, or they'll more, they feel us. Energy is very, very, very strong. So yeah, so like navigating through postpartum depression is not easy, because we have all these heavy feelings, and we have all these, this mom guilt and all this stuff that kind of, that stays with us. But our kids feel it. They feel it. So if we can become aware of our feelings, and have a place to vent about it, or to get support, or to, do some inner work, repairing our inner child, that can make a really big difference. I know it does for me. I started to do that. I started to, kind of like reparent my my inner child. And I always felt like I had to please everybody, and I always felt like I should have a smile on my face all the time. And I found out, like, with introspection and stuff like that, I found that it came from my mom, because my mom's like that. Growing up, I wasn't allowed to be myself. I wasn't allowed to be angry. I wasn't allowed to be sad. I always had to have a smile on my face. So I realized that it came from that. So I'm not sure if any of you can resonate or relate to that, but that's just like one example. And eventually, I would like to host or organize a maybe a workshop, and we could work on our inner child, healing the mother wound and all that, and we could go like dive deeper into that. So if any of you are interested in that, I'll be probably planning that, and once I get all the details, I'll be sharing it here in the group. That might be something that could interest you or help you as well on your journey. So yeah, just keep on the lookout in the next few weeks there, and I'll be I would like to do that. And another thing that helped me is somatic healing, breath work. I love doing Tai Chi and Qigong. So doing Tai Chi and Qigong really helps me ground, and it really helps balance my chakras and my energy and all that. So it actually gives me energy and puts me in a really happy place to start my day. So it helps, my mothering also, like with my kids, because trauma, it lives in the body. Our trauma, even our past traumas, and it lives in the body. So, and it affects our mindset. It affects because the mind, we only use 5% of our conscious mind, okay? But most of these feelings and this trauma and all that, it's in the 95%, the subconscious. And we don't even realize that we're doing it or that we're doing that. So for me, practices like inner chi flow, because I'm also wanting to start some qigong classes. So, and I call it inner chi flow. So when I practice my inner chi flow, it grounds me and it helps regulate my nervous system, and it gives my body permission to release old pain. So it doesn't control how you respond, for example. So yeah, so I'll be doing maybe on another training. I will be doing showing you a few qigong uh, sequences that could possibly help you. And if you resonate, then yeah, you can either DM me or whatnot, and maybe join my class, because I want to give. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do. I'm like a kid in a canister. I have a lot of ideas that I want to, bring to this group to help, to help us all to get balanced and to be doing good in our mothering. So yeah, so here's what I want you to remember, beloved mamas. Remember that you're not broken. You are not broken. You are the healer you've been waiting for. Nobody can do it for you. Yeah, that I've learned that on my healing journey. Nobody can heal us but ourselves. Like, support and coaching and counseling does help, yes. We need a guide sometimes, but we are our own healers. We're the only ones who can do that. So it doesn't matter how much sessions you might have or whatever, but you have to be willing to see and live through like the past traumas, the emotions, and all that. Like we call that the dark shadow. So we need to be wanting to take action to do it. And remember, you're raising your children in a new energy, with consciousness, compassion, and courage. And your children, they love you just the way you are. They love you no matter what. And you're not your mother. You're not her. You're not your grandmother. You're not your trauma. Your trauma is an experience that you've experienced in the past, but it doesn't define who you are right now as a mom. You are a cycle breaker. You're a legacy healer, and you're a mama goddess. So you got this. Like I know it's a lonely journey, but it can be navigated through. Like I've gone through it 26 years ago. I've had some very, very rough patches, but I was able to heal from it by learning techniques, by learning strategies and things like that. Because like when you don't know, you don't know, right? So this is my goal. This is what I'm here to do. And here are some affirmations. So let's say this together. You can tell yourself, I'm healing my lineage with love. You can even have your hand on your heart and you can say to yourself, I mother myself as I mother my children. I am the first of many to live free. These affirmations are really, really powerful. Because if you're affirming this to yourself, it changes, the mindset. So and if this resonated, I invite you to journal on this today. Grab a piece of paper or a journal and ask yourself, what generational belief or behavior am I ready to release today? And what would I like to replace it with? So again, what generational belief or behavior am I ready to release today? And what would I like to replace it with? Like when you journal about things, it can help like shed light on things. Because sometimes when we're just thinking, our emotions get in the way and all that. But like when you're writing it down, I find that it really helps. So if you feel called to it, I invite you to do that and see what answers that you come up with. I would be curious to know what your answers are. If you want to share them in the group, feel free to share them in the group, or you can even DM me and let me know. And if you'd like to go deeper, this is exactly what I explore in my 3-month Rebirth of the Mama Goddess program. I have a 3-month program where we dive in deeper. It's a 12-week journey and it's a healing journey. So we dive deeper into that. And if ever you need support at any time, please feel free to DM me. We can book a one-on-one coffee chat or a call and see where you're at and how I can help you. Because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you navigate through this time or this challenging time you may be feeling. So yeah, thank you really for showing up today, Mama Goddess, for you, first of all, and your babies, and for your lineage. You're rewriting history in the most beautiful way. I see you, I honor you, and I love you. And until next time, keep rising, keep shining, Mama Goddess. Keep reclaiming your crown, even if it gets crooked, you can straighten it and, because you are a beautiful Mama Goddess. And from my heart to yours, I wish you an amazing Thursday, and we will see you next week on Thursday. And also next week on Wednesday, I have started again my Empowered Mama Goddess Coffee Chats, which is a private. It's not broadcast live here like I'm doing now. It's a private discussion with other mamas, and it's a safe space, sacred space, and where we can just talk about all sorts of stuff without any judgment. And your children are welcome as well. I know it's not easy when you have small kids, running around, but that's perfectly fine. That's you can bring your children too, and we can just chat over coffee. I have those on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, the time might change, but for now it's at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I hope to see you there. And if you, of course, other moms that might benefit from our safe space, our group, please feel free to invite them. They're more than welcome to join us. And yeah, I wish you an amazing day. Blessed be. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.